Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
Messy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Messy. It is just me, Jamie, today with two of the most important people in my life, other than the men I live with in my home. Christina's taking a little break after her amazing book tour, and I'm so grateful because, you know when they say that thing where, like, I don't know what I would do without these people. I actually really don't know what I would do without these two women. We have walked each other through a lot of shit, a lot of life. And I think sometimes I've learned that you really need to see yourself through your friend's eyes. Sometimes you need their perspective, you need their help. And a lot of times we just don't know how to navigate through life without other people. And what I've learned with these two women in particular is not only now I know how to do that, but I know I can get through anything. And I know that we all have shit, and I'm not alone in my shit. They can relate even without it being the exact same. And I've also learned that I am still needed as well. And that is the gift of friendship, womanhood, best friendship. Without further ado, these are my two best friends, Becca Tobin and Odette Annable. Welcome to Messy.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, my girl.
We definitely couldn't live without you.
Oh.
That is the understatement of a lifetime.
For sure. I think a lot of people feel this way about you, Jamie. So,
well, that's very kind. But I could say the same about the two of you. And it's true. And I was late to the game on the value and wonder of female friendships. I really was, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because I grew up with two older brothers. I don't know if it's because I had a mom that told me every girl hated me and was jealous of me or whatever it was. But I was just skeptical of women and trepidatious about friendships, and not even so much about them, but just like worrying about my value in them. And, the three of us picked up and moved our lives at the same time, moving here to Austin, which I think also was a bonding experience in of itself. And we've also just found ourselves in, this messy middle age time too, that really only other women that are in it get.
Yeah.
a lot of frozen shoulder talk.
Here we are. It took me 35 minutes to figure out the position that I would be comfortable in talking to these women today on this podcast because of a fucking shoulder injury I got sleeping.
Yeah, well, thank God for all of us because we can share all of those things and not feel so alone because things are happening rapidly to our bodies, specifically now that we're in our 40s, which is crazy. It just everything starts happening and you got to bounce things off of each other. If not, you'll just drown alone.
Yep, yeah, it's true. Well, we got a lot of questions from our listeners. So obviously a lot of our listeners here live with MS, live with chronic illness. They're also caretakers of people that are going through that type of journey. And a lot of questions around, like, how do we show up? How do we, support in either role, whether you're the caretaker or the person, but then also, like, how do we remove that from the conversation and just get back to the basics of being a friend? And a lot of what I wanted to talk to you about stems from this one email that we got from a listener that I'm just going to read because then I think we can sort of take the conversation from there. And then I have a bunch of questions that people have read. So I'm going to read this quickly to you guys because we love to read listener emails and hear what people are going through and understand that MS or not, we're all going through it. So here it is. It says, I just want to start by saying how much messy means to me. As someone living with MS, I can't tell you how validating it is to hear people talk about the real, raw, unfiltered parts of life and this disease. Your honesty, humor, and vulnerability makes me feel less alone. On today's episode, Christina talked about feeling guilty for not being able to hold space for other people's pain, and then realizing, what if people feel that way about you too? That hit me hard. I felt that guilt more times than I can count. The most recent was when my friend's dad passed away the day after Christmas. She had been there for me when my mom died in 2020, but I wasn't there for her. I wanted to be, but I was drowning, grieving my mom, grieving my diagnosis, grieving the life I thought I'd have, and the guilt was suffocating. Then I remembered I've been here before. 15 years ago, my best friend lost her mom. At the same time, my MS journey was just beginning, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was in constant pain, barely keeping myself together, and I didn't show up for her the way I wanted to. And both times, these friends showed up for me the best they could. So of course, the shame crept in. Why couldn't I do the same? But chronic illness makes friendship complicated sometimes. I can't always be the friend I want to be. Sometimes I'm too exhausted. Sometimes I'm in too much pain. Sometimes I just don't have the emotional capacity to take on more. And that's hard to accept. Because I don't want my illness to define my friendships, but it does affect them. And I think that's something we don't talk about enough. Hearing you say those words, that realization that other people might feel that way about us, too, helped me shift my perspective. Maybe true friendship isn't about getting it right every time. Maybe it's about trusting that love is still there, even in the moments when we can't carry each other's pain. I first just want to say, you could have entered in but because I have MS and put anything else, right? Because I have depression, because I'm having marriage problems, because I have XYZ. And I think that's the beauty in this deep type of vulnerable sharing is realizing, and what you guys have taught me is we all have shit. And it's we're not here to compare. We're here to be there for each other and honor that, honor each other's pain and sit with each other in it. And that's where I really think we can take the shame out of that, because I'm sure the two of you can think of times when you just didn't have the capacity to be there for others because of what you were going through.
Yeah. I mean, I think that her just expressing that exact sentiment to the people in her life is going to be a really beneficial thing for everyone. It's friendship is about transparency and honesty. And if she just goes to these people and says, I want to be here for you, and I feel shame because I don't have the bandwidth all the time and I struggle with this thing. And, maybe it's just opening up the conversation to say, do you feel like I'm always too overwhelmed with what's going on in my life? Am I showing up in ways that I'm just not even recognizing? How can I show up in ways that don't take so much energy? Also, you have to look at the people in your life and your friendships, and I'm sure you've gone through this, Jamie, we all have, where sometimes people require too much from you. Sometimes there's friendships where you are left feeling guilty because you have not met an expectation that someone has set for you. And sometimes it's not the healthiest relationship if people have sky-high expectations for you, no matter who you are. So it's if somebody hears that sentiment in your email and they don't come back with a loving and gentle and thoughtful, honest answer, and instead just tell you all the ways in which you failed them, then I think that that's really speaks more to who you have in your life as opposed to what you're doing with the people in your life.
I think that that's dead on. And it goes in line with, are they your people? Because there's a difference between always trying to chase the validation of the person that you think belongs in your life. And you'll know in your gut if that feeling keeps happening, they're probably not your person. And you're just going to know when you've got your people, because those people, it's always going to be a dance. There isn't going to be a time where you're showing up fully always for someone. It just doesn't happen. When you have a friendship that you believe in, that you know is true, you're going to be able to show up sometimes, and sometimes you're not. And that other person is going to just get it, And I also think that we have to remember in friendships and female friendships that it's so important to keep watering them. You're in a relationship with someone, you know what I mean? And if that relationship matters to you, you also have to understand that there's going to be different versions of that woman that you're going to love. And just like you said, replacing it with MS, with depression, whatever, there's going to be different versions of what that looks like. Some days, Jamie, you have energy to do certain things. Some days you don't. Some days I have energy to do certain things, and some days I don't. And I think that if we just honor who each individual is with what they're going through and be aware of that, then, and if they're your people, then you're always going to figure it out together. And sometimes if they don't, and if you're needing a little bit more, then feel comfortable asking for it, because it's never going to be a burden.
Yeah. And I just keep hearing the word grace. And I think we come back to that so many times here of just giving grace to yourself, giving grace to others. I've found, especially in the last few years of my life, like we can talk about all the shitty parts of being in your 40s physically, but the emotional parts where you really start to blossom, and just also be like sending a text of being like, hey, I feel like I've been a shitty friend. I feel like I haven't shown up for you. I haven't checked in. I'm sorry. I can give you the list of reasons why. But in the end of the day, excuses are excuses. I'm wanting to know how you are. Could you ever imagine anyone coming at you negatively? And if they do in that moment, I mean, that says a lot about whatever the foundation was to begin with. But I think just being open and honest about your circumstances, but still, like you're saying, watering the relationship, showing you still care. Our capacity changes day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, especially when you have children and a lot of different things going on in your life. And so friendships are supposed to be the easy landing places, right? Where it's like, we get you, we got you, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, I was just thinking like some of that had to do with loss and grief and parents and passing and all of those things. I also think that, to look inward and see, I think sometimes when you're in the dark veil of grief, whether it's the diagnosis or the death of your mother, sometimes you do use that as an excuse to not get yourself back out there. And sometimes it's sort of keeping you in this really contained, safe place where you don't have to interact and engage with the world, which, to be honest, it's fucking exhausting sometimes. So I think there's also a time that you can look inward and say, is this a day that I'm genuinely physically exhausted and can't do the thing? Or am I just not wanting to make the effort to do the thing? And I think it's like it's a never-ending cycle of life is putting yourself out there and also listening to yourself and pushing yourself. It's this like crazy balance that we're always having to do. And I just know for myself, when I've been in those dark times of my life, it's really easy to say, I'm just not doing this and I'm not engaging in this because I'm dealing with X and I'm feeling very sad. And then in hindsight, I think back and I'm like, no, I didn't want to face anything. I didn't want to deal with anything. And sometimes it took really good friends to pull me out of that thing when I didn't even know that I needed it. So having those conversations and saying to your friends, if you feel like I am using this as an excuse in moments and you think that I have it in me, like, be my cheerleader, but it's, it's easier said than done. I don't know if that made any sense at all.
It made perfect sense.
It makes total sense. And I think it also goes back to, knowing and trusting that your people are your people, however dark you are. You just, your people, so you can count on them to say the real and to give it to you the real, and to also have grace and forgiveness, because they know you so well that they know when you're retreating. They know when you need to be brought out, and nobody's ever going to fully get it right. Sometimes we will. And a lot of times you do, just because you know your friendships, but you just have to keep the communication going. And I think that's the most important thing in any relationship, I would say. But in relationships that really matter, you just have to feel vulnerable enough to share the darkness and know that you're going to be met with a safety net.
Absolutely. And you guys, I'm going to get into a little bit more of like MS specific questions for some of our listeners and friends, but you guys, I can think of moments where I've looked at you and been like, I'm not okay. And the two of you have looked at me and be like, we know. You got to talk about it with us. Like, you think you've been doing a great job hiding it, but you haven't. but you've allowed me the space to sort of get there. I know you would have never let me get too far. I think you also both have looked at me at times and been like, we know you need help. If you're not going to ask for it, we're going to start like just straight up telling you how we, and I think you guys have also, it's been a dance for us to learn that sometimes you could see me physically struggling, but knowing like when I'm around my kitchen and I'm hosting and I'm cooking and I'm this, like it gives me joy. I still want to try to do it, even though you might see me physically really struggling. Like I still need to do those things, right? And so it comes with experience. It comes with time of just learning how to show up for friends the same way anything that you guys are going through, we sort of learn. You pick up on cues. We know when to sort of check in or not. It's about being unconditional with your friendships more than anything. I think it's just really remembering that we all have seasons and we all have things that we're struggling with underneath that we don't always express, but friends tend to have better antennae even than spouses at times to really know, what might be going on underneath the surface.
Well, when you're in your kitchen, cooking and hosting and doing your thing, I think you've really come a long way, Jamie, in the way that you ask for help when you need it now.
Yeah.
Like this, hey, can you grab me that pot of pasta and can you just put that water in there? And then you do it. And it's, again, just a dance of like, yeah, got you. And there's not even like a thought that goes on. It's like, absolutely. And now more than ever, I think we're just so comfortable with each other to ask for the things that we need and know that there's not going to be any judgment behind it. Something stupid is like lifting a pot of pasta, but like it goes with like deeper, and
because your head can go so far down where you're like, well, if I can't do this, they're probably not even going to invite me to this because they know that, you know what I mean? Like your head, and for all of our different reasons, can go so far down a road. And so I think a lot of these questions that I'm about to ask have come from people that are either newly diagnosed and being like, how is this going to affect my life and my relationships and things like that. Support for Messy comes from Tumble Rugs. Doesn't it feel like the rugs in your home just attract every mess, whether it's a dog's muddy paws or a kid's spaghetti or coffee or wine? And then you're on your hands and knees scrubbing these stains out. And then when you finally get it out, does the rug ever even look the same? Most rugs are either too delicate to wash or just a nightmare to clean, but not with Tumble. Because Tumble makes spill-proof, stylish, machine washable rugs designed for real life. They are spill-proof, okay, because their rugs feature a proprietary spill-proof surface that causes liquids to bead up on top of the rug. So instead of soaking into the fibers like most rugs, you can literally wipe away spills in seconds. It's basically magic. And like I said, machine washable. They have an integrated rug pad, which is awesome. So they're cushioned and non-slip, keeps everything securely in place. They use non-toxic materials. They have so many different styles. They look like designer rugs, not something that's temporary or cheap. Listen, don't take my word for it because there's hundreds and thousands of homes that have already switched to Tumble rugs. Machine washable rugs made better. For a limited time only, our listeners will get 10% off plus free shipping at tumbleliving.com/messy. That's TUMBL living.com/messy. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Support for Messy comes from Mud Water. I am always struggling with brain fog. I'm feeling groggy in the mornings. I'm feeling groggy in the afternoons, but coffee is just giving me the jitters. I've become really sensitive to caffeine, and I don't like that anxious feeling I get after a cup. But now I found a solution because we have Mud Water. Their original blend is a coffee alternative made with cacao, chai, turmeric, and functional mushrooms like lion's mane and reishi. You get this warm, focused boost without that wired buzz or the midday crash that usually tags along with a regular cup of coffee. And if you're not ready to let go of coffee entirely, they actually just launched a low-caf coffee made with organic Arabica coffee beans, L-theanine, and the same functional mushrooms you get in their other blends. It is rich, it is smooth, and only 45 milligrams of caffeine, so you get the flavor you love without the jitters, crash, or spiraling thoughts. Every single ingredient in Mud Water is 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, kosher. There's also 0 sugar and no sweeteners added. So are you ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off starter kits plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code MESSY. That's right, up to 43% off with code MESSY at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, they'll ask how you found them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. So I'm actually going to start with my first question to you guys, because from both of your perspectives, you both met me when MS was already like an outward thing. I was openly talking about it. And it was also like an obvious thing in my life. I was like, I had a disability, or like it was clear that something was, going on with me physically. Was there ever a time where, especially in the beginning of our friendship, that you felt uncertain, or that you felt like you were walking on eggshells of like, how do I navigate this? How do I be a friend? Were there ever moments where you just felt uncertain of how to show up for me?
This is so hard. I'm trying to remember.
I think the most obvious one that I could recall is being there as your arm for you to hold on to, but not knowing at the beginning of our friendship when it was appropriate to do that, because I didn't want you to feel like you couldn't walk on your own. But I also didn't want you to feel like I wasn't like aware enough to like help you out,
Yeah.
And again, I think that just comes with time. It comes with communication. It comes with also just like trying and maybe trusting your person, your friendship, to say, oh, I'm good right now, or thank you so much. Yes, I need that, or ask if you need help. It's simple, and it'll be a little bit of like a learning curve, I think, at first. And now it's not even.
We still do that though. By the way, like everywhere we go, there's always one of you that will like instinctively fall back and just like put up an arm, and 9 times out of 10 I take it, and every once in a while I'll be like, I'm good, but it's
totally.
like, you guys, I never have to ask. It's always right there for me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
And I don't know if this is helpful for somebody that has been recently diagnosed, but I think you have to trust that when you've got your group of girls, there will be one that will see that the other one that has got you, and then you can kind of just like, somebody will always fall in, and just trust that your friendships have you. Find the ones that you trust. Find the ones that make you feel safe, because the moment that you do, everything just kind of like, I bet you can just overthink it. Like, am I going to get help this day? Am I not going to get help? Can I do this thing? Can I not do this thing? When you have those girls that you find, you just have to trust that you can do everything. And when there's limitations, then we will all work around that, like without a doubt. There's no burden, there's no anything, because we all have our individual shit that kind of just balances out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just I feel very similarly. Like that was probably the thing for me too, where I was like, I don't want her to think she's not capable, but I also want to be there to physically support her if this is what she needs. The other thing too is, I think some people are afraid to ask you to do things that require a lot of physical ability. And I think there are times where people don't know whether to invite you to the thing, to have you get there, to be in a situation where you're not comfortable or cannot physically do the thing, or if they just outright say, hey, are you up for this thing? And I think that that's like tiptoeing around it, or not or going out of your way to not even present the option because you're afraid of what that might, the subtext of that, what that might be, or the outcome of that. I think it's like everybody overthinks it a whole lot. So now it's just, hey, there's this concert and it's at the Moody Center and so is coming. Like, are you up for it? You want to do it? And it's like a yes or a no. Or it's even the day of, us understanding that we could get to that day of, and you could say, I do not have it in me to walk like that. I do not have it in me to stand up for that long. And knowing you and part of being in this is just saying, great, we'll either make this easier for you, or you can sit this out and nobody's going to make you feel guilty about it. So that's the kind of thing where I think people, they don't give you like enough of your own ability to vocalize. And I think that's you do such a good job of it. And I think other people maybe don't. So it's like the advocating for yourself and not having shame behind, I don't have this in me today.
Yeah. Well, this was one of the questions that someone wrote in, was that I feel that some friends don't include me in things anymore. And I think that I've had a story for a very long time in my head, whether it be that I'm not being included because of this, or can I do this? Can I not? And sort of the grief around that, the FOMO around that. And I think it just honestly comes with time, and it just comes with experience and with communication, where now, sure, are there things that I would love to experience and do with my friends? Sure, but sometimes I just can't. And in my acceptance of that, but also knowing that there's going to be other experiences that I can participate in, that I will create memories with, you have to, I don't think you realize how much more, and I'm speaking for the person that might be dealing with a chronic illness or whatever they feel isolated from their, and connecting from their friendships, is like, you're in the driver's seat more than you think. And your friends can't show up for you until you communicate what your feelings are, what your needs are. And even if the circumstances don't change, just having that communication about it just makes it feel so much better. Because like you said, we can create so many stories in our heads of the whys, and then that just creates distance. And then that might be why you're feeling like your friends are not including you, because it just might be that awkward thing where they don't know what to do, how to connect. And you need to be the one to sort of dictate what your needs are. And I really think that you guys in particular have helped me shift that over time. Can you think of anything specific you might, or even conversations you might have had not in front of me, or thoughts about that, of how you sort of helped me? Because I don't think it's a place I've got to. I really think it's something that you guys really helped me do, was communicate what my needs are and feel better about those types of situations.
Well, I also want to say, and this is not answering your question, but, listen, I get FOMO more than anybody, right? I hate not going to things. I hate not, but the older you get, the more okay you are with it. But I just want to say that with that FOMO and with creating a story about, well, if I don't go and if I can't and I feel limited, then other friendships are going to get closer and I'm going to be just pushed out, And I think that's something important to talk about, because I just want to say that your friends aren't going to get closer and closer, and you're going to be pushed off to the side. Just that one didn't work out, and others will. Sometimes it's not going to work out for somebody else, and then you're going to all have experiences that you can do together, and you're all going to have experiences that you can't do together. And that's not the story that you create in your head, is probably the most toxic thing that you can do, because you can go real dark and real deep with a story that is not ever going to happen. So I know that was a little off topic, but it takes
me to this is completely unrelated to what we were talking about. Like, we all went on a girls' trip one time. And like when we left, I was feeling like in my head, like nobody likes me. Everyone hated everything I said all weekend. And then I normally would have just literally spiraled for weeks probably and just given an attitude to my husband because of it forever. But instead, I texted the two of you and I was like, am I an asshole and does everybody hate me? And you both were like, I feel the same. Like,
no, I'm an asshole.
We won't talk about the reason, but like, had I not just said that to you guys, who knows what kind of hell I would have lived through for the next few weeks, you know? And it's like, we all go through it.
Yeah.
So I
Stories
understand what
you
you're
create
saying.
in your head can be wild. They're nuts. And they're mostly not true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you did hate everything. Maybe
well, I
everybody
mean,
hated
listen, if
everything
you
I
did
said, I
something
don't know.
crazy, if you said something crazy, I'll be the first one to tell you that you did it.
True.
And you would have loved it.
It's true.
And usually it's me that does it.
It's true.
Okay, but back to that question of like, is there anything that you consciously feel like you did as a friend to like prompt me to ask for more help or make that or help? Was there ever any awkwardness that you feel like might have been there that you can think of things that helped with that?
I can think of one particular time that I could feel, I don't know if I was feeling or sensing the right thing, but I could feel some trepidation on your end or some anxiety leading up to going to, it was actually a concert when our friend Nikki was in town, and it's at the Formula One racetrack. It's a fucking million miles around. And so it can be just a crazy trek to get wherever you need to be. And I thought to myself, I was like, I don't want Jamie to not come because she's aware of the circumstances. So I just went ahead and made the calls or the arrangements or the things or the golf carts. And it's like, I did it without asking. And then I just said, hey, Jamie, here's the deal. We're getting dropped off at this parking lot and there's going to be a golf cart waiting for us. And we go in right to the side. And like, so then it cuts out you having to ask for it. And it's like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to anticipate that. You know, I know sometimes it's, you can't plan for it. But I think I'm going to speak for you, but I feel like that takes away a lot of awkwardness, a lot of things that you don't have to come out and say. And just knowing you for so long, I'm like, I feel like Cutter when I do those types of things because that is so Cutter. And I actually like, it crosses my mind often when things come up, girls' trips or concerts or things that Cutter's not going to be there. Part of me wants to side text Cutter and be like, hey, I'm taking care of this. I know that you were thinking about this all night. You've been up thinking about this, but I try to kind of step in, and I know Odie does too, as like the Cutter of your girlfriends, the person anticipating what your needs are.
You do. You both do. You all do. It's the only reason why I think I'm fully participating in my life, and again, why I wanted to have this conversation, and for other people that are in a position like mine, is like, don't give up on your friendships. Like, your friends want to help you, but there has to be enough experience around you for them to see what your needs are. Because also, you know, I can speak for myself, but I know you feel it like feels good to help the people that you love. You know, it's a very, you know, it's a very, what's the word?
Reciprocal. Jesus, three actors.
You know what I'm trying to
fucked.
say. We're not smart. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, but both parties benefit from that exchange.
For sure.
And I'm forever grateful because yes, you know, Christina, I've talked a lot about like the lead up. There's like, even if I'm going to a lunch with somebody I haven't seen in a while, not only do I think like, oh my God, maybe I'll get early. So I'll get I met a friend in Philly for lunch a couple of weeks ago when I was there, and I was so mad at myself, but I was like, here I am. I got to the restaurant 10 minutes early. I got a table near the front because she hasn't seen me in 8 years. And I was like, I don't want her to be disappointed when she sees how I move. And it's just my reality. And I gave myself grace and accepted that this is also still just part of my inner dialogue and something I have to deal with. But when we got up and she saw me grab my cane, she was like, do you need my arm? And I was like, yeah, I do. Thank you. You know, it's just, it was as seamless as that. And it's like we said, again, the story, it's always so much worse in our heads than what we think. But had I not had friends like you show up for me, I'd probably never leave my house, to be quite honest, or even work.
It's also okay for you to continue to do those things like 10 minutes early. Like if you don't have the bandwidth to take on whatever that exchange is going to be, that's okay. You know, it's like sometimes you don't always have to just lay it all out there and be so vulnerable. Like you are allowed to edit and self-regulate and do all the things that you need to do, just simply get through the day. We all are in so many ways. So,
Yeah.
And by the way, it doesn't make you a dick or a selfish person or a high maintenance friend. If you feel that, let's say we're all going to dinner and you're not having a great day, to send a text and say, hey, can you just try to get the easiest spot for me to sit in, or like find the table that, you know, whatever, like that's all okay. Because by the way, I'll have a day where I'm like, help me out. I can't I can't adult right now. Like help me in whatever way. Like it doesn't make you any other way than just, hey, I'm counting on you. You count on me. This is what we do. That's it.
Yes.
Support for messy comes from OneSkin.
You know, a lot of skincare looks good on paper, but it doesn't really deliver results. Or even worse, you're sold on the idea that you need 10 different products to have an effective routine. That's why we love OneSkin, and that's why OneSkin really stands out. Their products aren't about hype or fancy packaging. It's real science, because this brand was founded by longevity researchers who asked a simple question. If visible skin aging is driven by damaged senescent cells, what if you could slow down that process instead of just covering it up? And that research led to OS1, OneSkin's proprietary peptide. It's the first ingredient proven to switch off those damaged senescent cells, which actually slowing skin aging directly at the source. Their products are backed by extensive lab and clinical data, including 4 peer-reviewed clinical studies to validate their efficacy and safety on all skin types. They've got over 10,000 5-star reviews and have been recently featured by Bloomberg as a leader in skin longevity. It really just shows you don't need a complicated routine to achieve healthier, younger looking skin.
Born from over a decade of longevity research, OneSkin's OS01 peptide is proven to target the visible signs of aging, helping you unlock your healthiest skin now as you age. For a limited time, try OneSkin with 15% off using code MESSY at oneskin.co/messy. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code MESSY. After you purchase, this is really important, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent ya.
Support for Messy comes from Honeylove. I love Honeylove. I've talked about it before. I love their shapewear. I love their bras. And now they've got a sports bra for all of us to love, okay? Their Honeylove Cross Flex Activity Bra immediately felt different from every other sports bra I've tried, okay? Because this feels like a sports bra, but it's actually designed for all-day wear. It's supportive without feeling tight, stiff, or suffocating. It has this easy hook and eye back, so you don't have to rustle it over your head and like ruin your cute little bun you made for the gym or whatever. It has wireless support using cloud fuse bonding, so there's no poking, there's no digging or pressure points. Gives you real shape, not a uni boob look. It's everything you wish a sports bra would give you. Now you've got it. They've also got their crossover triple bra bundle. So if you want a full refresh on your top drawer, you can get huge savings by buying 3 at once. Honeylove is an independent, female-founded brand with products designed by women who actually wear them. And again, they've got the greatest shapewear. They've got a line of tanks, bodysuits, underwear. I can't say enough about this brand. So treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Use our exclusive link to save 20% off Honeylove at honeylove.com/messy. That's honeylove.com/messy. After you check out, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard in comfort and support with Honeylove. One of the questions was, and I know that I get where this person is coming from. It's like, how do you guys handle seeing me, I mean, suffer is the word that this person used, but like struggle because of my MS? I mean, I can have my own answer of when I've seen you guys struggle, but like, how do you manage that? Do you manage that directly? Do you manage that behind my back? Like, how, I think this might even come from somebody that might be in your position and not the person with like how to best to handle when you see a friend struggling.
I think I hate this term, but there's no other way to use it. It's like, or no other way to say it. It's like allowing for the space, giving that person the space to feel all the things that they're feeling.
You wanted to say hold space is what you wanted to say.
I know. I gave it a remix.
You rebranded it.
But it's like when I don't know if you talked about this story on the podcast yet, but when you fell in the shower and you split your lip open. And I know that those are the moments where it's such a shitty and heartbreaking experience for you. And to you, it's so much more than just a slip and fall. And we know that. And it's just something that we can't say anything to make you feel better, because it sucks. It sucks. Yeah. There's no getting around it. There's no silver lining in it. It is what it is. And I think by not doing that, not making you feel like, oh, but it's not that bad. Like we don't do that. And we say, that really fucking sucks. And I'm sure that really scared you, because that is a really scary thing to have experienced. Is something that you think about all the time. And I'm so sorry. Like, just being there and saying, and as a friend, you want to do 8 million other things because you just want that person to stop hurting. But sometimes it's just impossible to take that away. And so you simply just have to sit with it and sit with them in it.
And I think the most important part is allowing yourself to feel those emotions and to get those out there. And that's not always the easiest for you to do because you're so strong, Jamie. But I think it really freaked you out. And you had a moment where you were like, is this my fucking reality? I'm going to cry about this because I'm scared. And to be able to share that and feel those emotions and get that feeling out there, to then be able to laugh about it later, talk about, you know what I mean? But to get that real reality out first is so important. We have this app that we use. It's called Marco Polo. I don't know if you've talked about Marco Polo before, but it's truly like life-changing in the way that we're able to chat about the in-between moments, because sometimes you go so long without talking to your friends because life is life and kids or whatever it is that you have going on, and you can only catch up on the big things that happen. But it's really in those in-between moments that things happen that matter. And so the fact that we have that to be able to just hop on whenever we want and talk about the stupid shit that happens it actually is really, really meaningful. And it allows for those moments to like just unload. And even if it's just unloading on a little video that you got to do it, and then you can like feel a little bit lighter about the situation, and then have your best friends chime in and like give you that peace and reassurance, or just being there in your space to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, Marco Polo, I don't think I get a bigger endorphin hit than when I see a alert that our Marco Polo chat's popping off. Like,
Odette is talking.
Who needs me? What do we got? What are we doing today? And it's 99% in our cars.
Oh, yeah.
That we're just talking as we're driving to each other. And like you said, unloading whatever we're feeling, whatever we went through. It literally runs the gamut from pet peeves, clothes we saw, husbands, split my lip open. And to that, you know, that was a really difficult moment for me. I know you guys both know, because it was shocking. It was humbling. It was scary, but you guys did that. You just held the space for me. You didn't tell me anything other than that was really bad. That really sucked, and that was really hard for you, and that was really bad. And I think that is one of the most important ways to show up as a friend sometimes is not to fix. And like you said, just hold that space of whatever, sitting with them in that pain. And you know,
I do
know
think
you
I
were
lectured you on using conditioner for shaving cream, though.
as you should. It was the culprit. It was definitely my faux pas.
What did you
It
say?
got
You
me there.
I will-
trapped yourself.
I said you gave yourself a slip and slide. You were using
Right.
conditioner to shave your legs.
And that was trying to make me feel a little bit better about it. For sure. I remember I did a reveal on Marco Polo. I was like, just showing
Yes.
my eyes. I was like, well, guys, it happened. And then Becca was like, I was really hoping you were showing me some like awesome lip filler.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It looked like
I
that,
finally
actually.
fell and got injured.
You're like, damn, Jamie.
It was natural lip filler
Yeah.
injury.
But, you know, in our sharing, because I think for a long time, I didn't feel like I could share, not with you guys, but just in general, because I felt like nobody would understand. And what's interesting is I just finished the book Strangers, this memoir that everybody's talking about. And in her talking about like how isolated she felt as like the only single woman with all the married couples and this, like I was like, oh, this is a different situation, but I know that feeling, right? Like the only disabled friend in the group or whatever. We all have that thing inside of us that's like makes us the one that's different from everyone else. And in knowing that in the specificity of our vulnerability is the universal connection of just the emotion, right? That we all get hit with from different things and different hands dealt. One of the most important things I think that has helped in friendships for me and for anyone that's going through something difficult is feeling that there's no scale on what anybody is going through. Like my pain is not worse than yours or your experience. And so having the openness and the back and forth to be able to share our struggles and what we're going through. So this is for somebody that's, you know, whether you have MS or you have the thing that maybe people have said to you in passing, like, oh, I shouldn't be complaining to you. Like, no, please do, because I want to feel like I'm in a back and forth here. I want to feel like everybody else, because we are. And in sharing your struggles with me, that's helped me feel, to be honest, more normal and less different and isolated. And I'm sure you have felt the same.
Yeah, I think it's just human to, well, if you aren't an asshole, to like have the awareness of whatever the thing is you're complaining about and the people around you and what they're also dealing with in their lives. So that's also a dance. It's like, yes, we all want to kind of like acknowledge everybody's in pain, but I also want you to know that there are things that are just simply harder to deal with on a daily basis. And that is something that you do deal with. And so I know you don't want to be treated as such, but I also want to have you recognize that we're never going to get sick of hearing. I could hear every single day a moment that, not the slip and fall. I hope that there's never a moment like that. But I know every moment of every day, or every day you have a moment where it's like, this fucking sucks. Like I'll remember when Jack was still in a car seat and he was very physical. And it was like, you were like, I'm so upset. I physically can't deal with my kid right now. And it's just, I don't know, this is just a long-winded way of saying it's also okay to acknowledge that like right now in this period of time, you are allowed to bring this up more often than I bring up the fact that, whatever the thing is that I'm dealing with. And there will be times that, we have very dark moments. Odie and I have both been through things that are also quite painful and difficult and challenging. And we have monopolized those moments in the friendship. And so I'm just here to say, you can give us a little bit more of this, put a little bit more of this burden onto us as well. Like, it doesn't always have to be, I know everybody else is dealing with something. Like, you are dealing with something incredibly hard. And some people will never even touch the amount of struggle that you overcome on a daily basis.
And on the flip side, as a friend, you cannot feel that I never feel, oh my God, I can't complain to Jamie about this because she's going through this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big key there, because then you're going to start feeling like, well, I'll just talk to somebody else about it and I'm just going to be there for her. You've got to continue sharing your own pain, your own struggles, while recognizing that what you're going through, I'll never understand what that is. And to have real awareness around that is super important, but it's just as important to not shut yourself off from the receiving end of what you give, Jamie, because what you give is so beautiful, so much perspective. You're a full, whole human because you've done the work. And I think we all have in some capacity in our lives, which is why, and I think that our greater group of friends as well has also done that, which is why we connect so deeply to each other. And we all have different things that we have to share about, but you can't stop sharing your own pain just because you think that somebody else is going through something worse. Like there's a real awareness that you have to have. So you can't be a dick, but you also just can't shut off the things that are going on in your life.
That's right. Beautifully said. And we also have a lot of fun. Let me just put that out there. We don't just bitch to each other, okay?
No.
I love our husbands think that we do, but we also have a lot of fun. We're really fucking fun. Which brings me to a very interesting question we got, which I love, by the way. If each of us were arrested, what would the others assume it was for before learning the facts?
It's
Odie, public intoxication.
Easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Or urination, intoxication, urination.
100%.
You would be on that, aren't you, like on the child predator list when you pee near a park or something? Or,
I'm sure I am. No.
I think you become like, no, she's not, but I could see her being on that.
I took Andy out of the car the other day. I was like, here's a patch of grass. I don't have time to pull into the bathroom, so I'm teaching her young.
I'm pretty sure my kid took a shit in a park one time.
Yeah.
Oh,
literally.
Mine definitely did recently. It was disgusting.
Andy was proud of it one time. I was like, oh God, no, I gotta stop this.
Look, Mama.
Well, Ford was holding his shit for so long that I was like, let it out wherever we are, freely. Just anywhere.
Oh my God.
Okay, what would Jamie be?
Oh, what do you think I would get arrested for?
Oh God.
I don't know.
My vision of Jamie, just like in her most like badass self, is always at a blackjack table in a casino.
Yeah.
So something.
Yes.
Something in that realm.
Something in that world.
I click into another personality for sure in a casino.
Yeah. Or maybe like having some sort of just mental break at a child's baseball game.
Oh,
an
that's
altercation.
a good one.
We're finally breaking. Yeah.
A physical altercation with someone.
Yes.
Battery.
Yes.
Little battery.
Yes. A little battery.
a little battery.
I every once in a while I'll remind my kids, I've got this fucking cane, but it can hurt you.
100%.
Amen.
This thing
They
ain't
should
soft.
know. They should. I feel like your kids, every kid should have like a healthy fear of you.
100%.
Yeah.
Be scared of me. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Right,
what about you, Becca?
Oh,
it would be that you run your mouth somewhere and it gets you in a lot of trouble, maybe arrested or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Get us kicked out of somewhere. But
I'm
it
big
would always be for the right cause. I'd 100% be behind the cause.
Yeah. It's justified, but
I'm big into removing political signs off people's lawns that I don't agree with. So
yes.
that will probably get me in some trouble.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, I like it. Egging.
And then I'd like leave shit on a doorstep for you, and then I'd get in trouble, and then
The moral of the story is we will throw down for our friends.
Yes.
I will stand up for my friends more than I would ever stand up for myself. That's for sure. I actually dream of the opportunity to
Me too.
let out some steam in the name of somebody I love, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Same.
I remember my friend got into a fight once, like a physical altercation. And I was like, oh, God, what do I do? So I got in there and I was like, I got her earring.
You did? Oh, my God.
I'm like, this is horrible. What am I doing? But I'm so like down for my girlfriends. I'll just get in there.
That reminds me of one of my bigger regrets in high school. A, because I missed seeing it, and B, like I should have been there for my friend. I was at my friend Lindsay Wolf's house, and I was taking a nap in her bed. Like, what the fuck was I doing? And she didn't have a car. I was parked at her house, and she woke me up to tell me that this girl from a town next door was meeting her at the Hill, which is where we are. It was a fucking Wallbaum's parking lot, to fight her. And I was like, take my car. And I didn't go. And I went back to sleep. And she came back to the house like bloody, shirt ripped, like out of breath. And I was like, oh, fuck. And she's like, we fought on top of your car. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, well, I guess I was a good friend by giving you my car. But I missed
Have you
the
seen
fight.
those? Have you seen the Instagram videos where parents like trick their kids and they come in the house and they're like,
yes, I'm dying to do it. The neighborhood's starting with me and they have their 2 kids. Let's go fight them to see what they would do.
Their kids are ready to fight.
Oh my God, you have to do that with Charlie, Odie.
Oh my gosh, Charlie would be like, where are they? Let's
She'd
go.
Be so ready.
She'd grab a kitchen knife.
Ready.
Yeah, she'd go dark.
This is our assignment for later today. I would like to do this. I would like to do this. Well, I love you both so much.
You.
Thank you. And again, anyone that's out there, I really hope that you can just take from this conversation, like, the beauty of friendship and how simple it is and how low pressure it should feel, right? It's just all about communication. It's all about honesty, transparency, trust. And again, if you are not met with that, those might not be your people. Your circle could be as tight as 3, as big as 30. You all have value within a group of friendships. You all bring something individual and special to a group. Don't let that overwhelm you. Don't let that isolate you. No matter what you're dealing with, we're all dealing with shit. You know, we're all worthy of support and love. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. There's not a chance in hell I would be who I am or able to do what I do without the 2 of you.
Same.
Truly.
You make it very easy for us to, show up for you. And I think that it's not lost on us. Like, you give us so much grace, and it's really we always say you're otherworldly, you're saint-like. I think anybody who listens to this podcast has probably picked up on that. And I can speak for myself. I'm incredibly grateful that you are in my life. I love you.
Same.
I love you
You're all
guys.
those things. And you have a little edge, which is very sexy. Well, don't give me a few drinks.
Oh, yeah. Odie hits on you every time she drinks. It's so awkward.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Am I offended?
It's awesome.
Sort of.
Honestly,
sort of.
I have
she
to remember.
stops, I'd be like, what do I got to fucking do?
Throw Becca a few. What I'm
Don't pity flirt with me,
no,
okay?
No pity. I have to force my nose.
It's fine. Okay, I have a demographic.
She's got a type, Becca. That's all it is. She's got a type. She likes another Cuban. It's all it is.
It starts with a J, ends with a Sigler.
You're sicko.
Listen, if you stop hitting on me when you're drunk, then
that's when the problem. There's a problem there.
That's when we're getting our facelifts, because we'll know it's time.
You'll know.
That'll be the time.
There'll be signs.
Exactly. All right. Before I let you go, I pick a card from I have a little quote thing here in my little desk that you helped me buy at Roundup. And it's always for you. Whatever this card is going to be, I believe is a message that two of you need to hear. Whoever's listening needs to hear. I love you both so much. Here it goes.
Love you.
The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. And so it is.
Well, needed to hear it.
It is.
This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windisch.
And if you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.